As a mom of four with a full-time job, making freezer meals for the whole month literally makes my life so much easier. I don't have to cook for a whole entire month, and that's what I'm about today. And the first thing I want to do is I want to just fry up my minced beef and then prepare most of my ingredients. I like to have my ingredients ready before I actually start the cooking session itself. And before I get to that, I need to make some fruits for my kiddos because they are hungry. It's just after lunch, and yeah, time to get them some fruits before we get with the real cooking. I do have a help, but today is her day off, so I'm definitely on my own. My cameraman is also away today, so I've now been more alone than this, but that's fine. I can do this. One thing I like to add to my kids' fruits is roasted peanuts for some protein, and this will keep them fuller for longer because I can already tell that dinner is going to be a bit late because this mama is all up in the kitchen making quite a bit of food. So I want to keep them loaded up with some protein and some fiber so that they don't feel hungry. Now that guys are situated with their fruits, I want to get on with chopping the beef for the beef stew. And once that's done, I want to wash it. And then I like to wash it with vinegar nowadays because I just feel like so many things have been going on health-wise. So we just need to be like extra careful. And then I'll start boiling it. And when I'm boiling the beef, I'll put in some rosemary because it just adds the flavor to a whole new level. one thing that's very important for me as I am doing freezer meals is to clean up as I go. And especially on a day like today when I'm by myself, I just want to really make sure I clean up as I go so that I do not have like a whole entire pile of dishes. It really gets overwhelming for me, and when the kitchen is really cluttered, I feel like I can't think straight. So I want to clean up. And then remember, I've also been handling raw meat, so it's very important I get to clean up, clean my counter, make sure everything is clean, clean my hands before I get on with the next step. Now that my beef is nice and boiling, it's time to chop up the vegetable, which thankfully before I have left, she cleaned most of these for me and also peeled for me the carrots. So all I need to do is to get my food processor, which makes the whole process go so much faster. People ask me often which brand this is. This is a brown brand. It's just the one that we started with. I don't have another one to compare it with, but it really makes my freezer meal session go much faster instead of chopping everything by hand. And of course having a help makes it go a whole lot faster as well. Oh, if you watched last month's freezer meal video, I said that we were running out of our garlic and ginger paste. So it's time to make a new one. Really, really simple, by the way, you guys. I just peel my garlic, peel my ginger, put them in my blender, put a little bit of water. I don't put oil because I find that if I put oil and then I also put oil when I'm cooking, it just becomes too much oil for me. So I blend it. I've made 2 nice, lovely jars. So this should last us for the next month without going bad, for the next 2 months, honestly, because I have a feeling like I'm going to use a whole one today and then the other one will stay safely in my freezer, in the fridge, actually not the freezer, for at least a month or more. It can even last up to 2 months. So it really makes everything go a whole lot faster. So as I said, I really like to have all my ingredients ready before I start the major cooking. For me, this is what works best because once I start cooking, I'm able to light several fires at a go. And when all the ingredients are ready, it's just boom, 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 and it goes really, really much faster. Another thing we've already done is we have boiled all our lentils, Our help was kind enough to boil for me the pork, which I am in the process of frying right now. And then, so everything, really by the time I'm done chopping up the ingredients, everything will be ready to now get on with the cooking. So dinner is taking a bit longer, even longer than I thought. So I'm giving the kids just a bit more peanuts. They love these peanuts, but this is a great hack, is to just have these healthy snacks at hand for such a time as this. So I like to have the peanuts roasted and ready. And they were asking for some more, and I was like, why not? This will buy me a bit more time before we have to eat dinner, because man, a girl is struggling a bit, but it's fine. For my pork recipe, I've tried several. I've tried pulled pork, which came out really nicely, but I found it to be a little bit time consuming. This is my best recipe for pork so far, but I want to look for another one for next month. It's just dry fried pork, and I like to put a lot of colored peppers and spices, and of course the boiled pork. It comes out really nice, dry but not too dry. It's not soupy, basically. Putting some soy sauce at the end, and it's a hit. We love it here. So all my ingredients are ready. Time to start really cooking. I want to start with the vegetarian dishes, and these are the vegetarian dishes we're going to have this month. We are having yellow lentil stew in coconut, and we're going to have dengu, some sort of chili with dengu. Basically, it's just dengu stew, and here is where I want to add my minced beef, which I've already boiled. I kind of wish I had put in some oil and fried the minced beef a bit more, but it's fine. Next month I'll do that. It's just a sort of recipe that I'm trying for the first time, and I hope it's going to come out nicely. And then we're also going to have some red lentils in peanut sauce, another recipe that I've sort of cooked up in the process, and I want to see how it turns out. And another vegetarian dish that we're going to make later will be vegetarian fried rice, but that will come much later. My fourth dish for now is beef stew. One more thing that we had already done in advance is we had boiled the beef stock. I talked about this last month. And so we had some bones. We didn't get a chance to boil them last month. Actually, if you watched last month's freezer meals video, we used vegetable stock. But I had some bones in the freezer, which now we have already boiled for plenty of beef stock. Because I just feel that this really takes the whole freezer meal experience to the next level instead of cooking with water. And the basis of these vegetarian dishes are almost always the same, and that's why I like to differentiate them with, like, some I put peanut or peanut sauce. By the way, I'm putting roasted peanuts, you'll see. And then some I put coconut, and then some now I want to put some minced beef. Sometimes I put bacon, sometimes I put sausage. I really like having vegetarian meals, no meat days, at least 3 days a week or 4 days a week, because it's cheaper, it's healthier. But just because they're no meat, I don't like them to be bland again. So I'm always looking for ways to just spice them up a little bit. I like to pump my beef stew chock full of vegetables because it's healthier, makes it last longer, just tastes better. And my ancestors are happy with it as well. We're not doing so badly. So far, I have these 5 dishes ready, which is absolutely phenomenal. And the kitchen is quite a mess, so I want to start fast clean up, reduce the mess, then take a cleaning break so that we can have dinner and then finish my remaining dishes. For dinner, I want to make ugali, which is a Kenyan dish. It's sort of like polenta if you don't live in Kenya. And I want to serve it with the beef stew because that's already ready. And then we also have some steamed cabbage in our fridge, so that makes it like much faster for me. And yeah, I love ugali by the way. I think it's one of my most favorite dishes. I think it's like top 3 of my most favorite dishes. The kids are not so much fans of ugali, but I think we cannot eat rice and spaghetti all the time, which if they could, they would. So yeah, well, there's that. So my people are nicely fed and we've hung out a bit, watched a little bit of TV, and I've put them to bed. And now it's time to cook my chicken tikka masala. I've already washed the chicken and rinsed it in vinegar water, which is something I really like to do lately, as I mentioned. Then after frying my onions, I want to dry roast the spices. The spices I'm using for the chicken tikka masala are paprika, garam masala, turmeric, and some ground cumin. So once these are fragrant, I want to add the spices to the chicken, and then I'll also add the tomato paste and ginger garlic paste and the tomatoes that are finely diced. So I've covered the chicken and I've let it cook in its own juices plus the roasted spices and the tomatoes and everything for about 10 minutes. And you'll find, if you want to try this recipe, that the chicken already has enough sort of water in itself, so there's no need to add water. So once it's cooked for 10 minutes, because this is broiler chicken, it's quite soft, so I don't want to overcook it, then I'm adding some coconut cream. Then I'll cover and I want to cook it for a further 10 minutes, and that's it. That's done. Remember, once we put this food in the freezer and we reheat it, it's still going to cook a bit more. So I found, like for broiler chicken, it's best to not overcook it in the initial stage. Otherwise, when we're reheating it, it's just going to completely fall apart. But this dish smells delicious. I am loving the progress that I am making, and now it's time to make the vegetable fried rice. First, I start by making the egg, just frying 5 eggs because I'm making a large batch. And then the thing I want to do is I want to blanch these broccoli that I've already washed, so that it goes down much easier. By blanching, I just mean I'll wash it, cut into pieces, and then I'll put it in boiling water for like 3 minutes, and then I'll drain it. So it will be soft, but then it will not be overcooked. Then once that's done, I will put in the hot oil. I want to put all the vegetables, because what I like about Chinese fried rice is just put everything at once, because you still want your vegetables to be crunchy. And remember, as I said, this food will be reheated, so you still want to make as little make them as crunchy as possible. Leave them as crunchy as possible, so that when you reheat them, they'll still be a bit crunchy. No one likes soggy fried rice. Seems to me like I overestimated the capacity of my wok, so I need to change into a bigger cooking pot. And then another thing that's a key when you're making vegetable fried rice is to use day-old rice. By the way, I've done an entire video of 3 amazing rice dishes that I think everyone should learn how to make, so check it out if you're interested. So this rice, we made it yesterday, and then it's been in the fridge since then, so it's amazing. Then another thing I want to do is I'll just add some soy sauce, and the vegetable fried rice is ready. It's yummy, smells delicious. Yo, look at this. I love the collection of this month's meals, by the way. I feel like every dish was just very unique and special in itself. We are really going to enjoy these meals, and I'm going to enjoy having peace of mind for a whole entire month. I can go to work and come back, not have to worry what we are going to eat. And that is absolutely fantastic. For my freezer meals containers, I'm still buying them a little bit at a time, so I like the way they're turning out. I did a video showing how I'm going to arrange all these meals in the freezer. If you are interested, that is a video you should watch next, and I will see you over there. Bye.